Hello everyone, welcome to Study Quest. Today is 24th August 2025 and I am going to analyze Assam Tribune analysis today, which will be going to be very useful for your all the GS paper AC GS 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's start the video. Today's article will be very useful for your upcoming APSC mains exam, and today's article is about a step towards coexistence written by Noyonika Gogoi. So today's article will be very useful for because here I have given some examples that how from a single article different questions in different GS papers can be created. So it will be a multi-dimensional approach, and this will be how you will be starting or your preparation for this APSC journey. So don't forget to watch the video till end because in the end I have given some pro tips. So let's start the video. So today is Sunday, 24th August 2025, and the article that I took for you all is A Step Towards Coexistence, written by Noyonika Gogoi. And according to her, that the Supreme Court has adopted a balanced and humane approach over the issue of stray dogs. So, as you all know, that earlier Supreme Court has given a verdict that the all the stray dogs around Delhi NCR should be caught, sterilized, vaccinated, and they should be sent permanently to the shelters. But after that, all the dog lovers or the animal lovers they came together, and now Supreme Court changed its verdict, and the Supreme Court said that okay, the dogs should be vaccinated and they should be released, but only the rabid one or the one who are aggressive should be there in the shelters. Also, Supreme Court said that the people who raised the voice against the earlier judgment, they should give certain amounts for the welfare of the dog. So the individuals are required to pay a sum of 25,000, and the NGOs involved should give a sum of 2 lakhs for the welfare of the dogs in the shelter. Now let's begin this article. In her first intro part, Noyonika said that there are people who are xenophobic, that is, people who are afraid of dogs, and they usually stop near a shop when they see a street dog. But there are many people who show kindness by taking care of such street dogs, as philosophies like ahimsa, seva, and karuna, which are deeply ingrained in the Indian ethos. But for some people, stray dogs are always a source of fear, especially when incidents of dog bites or rabies make headlines. So recently, a 6-year-old girl in Delhi died due to rabies, and this has actually jolted government, media, and the Supreme Court. And it was against this backdrop that Supreme Court made its first judgment on first 11 August that all the dogs in the Delhi NCR be caught, sterilized, vaccinated, and permanently housed in shelters or pounds. But for people working for animal welfare, it raised an alarm, and such directive overlooked the Animal Birth Control ABC Rules 2023, which clearly state that after sterilization and vaccination, dogs must be released back to their original territory. So, according to Animal Birth Control Rules 2023, after sterilization and vaccination, a dog must be released back to its original territories, and permanent sheltering beyond being unscientific, risk cruelty, overcrowding, and even mass deaths in underfunded facilities are there. So after numerous protests, Supreme Court has revised its judgment on 22nd August 2025. The Supreme Court adopted a more balanced and humane approach, not just for Delhi, but this time the judgment is for the entire country. And the court declared that it would now hear all stray dog related cases pending before the high courts, effectively providing a national framework to follow. So what Supreme Court directed? So first is strict implementation of ABC rules 2023, that is, dog must be caught, sterilized, dewormed, vaccinated, and released back to their localities. Then rabid or genuinely aggressive dogs are to be kept in the shelters. Okay, then designated feeding zones must be created. Feeding zones must be created and marked. While feeding dogs elsewhere will attract penalty. So if we feed street dogs anywhere else outside the feeding zones, then it will be a case of penalty. Then a helpline should be set up for the complaints related to feeding violations, and anyone obstructing the ABC rules implementation will face prosecution. And within 8 weeks, municipalities must submit reports on their infrastructure, sterilization progress, and compliance. So this is what Supreme Court has directed now for the entire country. And the Supreme Court's acknowledgement that permanent sheltering was too harsh was a relief. It reaffirmed that coexistence is not confinement, must guide policies. So, beyond fear, learning to coexist is what we need. So, too often, public conversations about stray dogs are driven by fear. So these incidents must be addressed seriously, but they do not define all dogs. So most street dogs are not aggressive. They bark because barking is their language, mainly to warn or to claim space or call attention. So chasing vehicles too is instinctive, not always a sign of hostility. So what are the now next she explained about the challenges and concerns. So Supreme Court has opened right door, but the path ahead is not free from obstacles. So one of the biggest challenge is the term aggressive dogs. Now the term aggressive dogs is not mentioned anywhere. So a barking dog or one running after a vehicle is not necessarily an aggressive dog. So Animal Welfare Board of India has already provided scientific parameters for the definition of aggressive dogs, and municipal workers, RWS, or lay persons cannot be the final authority, and decision must be evidence based, or else innocent dogs will be wrongly picked up. Another challenge is that in creating feeding zones. So the Supreme Court has wisely directed that feeding take place in a designated areas, but this must be practical, well marked, and supported by multiple feeding spots with protection for the feeders. Feeding is not merely an act of kindness, it builds trust, which is essential for catching dogs for sterilization and vaccination. Then comes another issue, that is the municipal capacity. So, sterilization or vaccination require trained staff, proper equipment, and adequate shelters. Yet, many municipal bodies lack these resources, and there are reports of corruption with crores of rupees spent on sterilization drives without result, which cannot be ignored. So, strong accountability and monitoring are vital. Otherwise, Supreme Court well-meaning order risk becoming another paper directive. So finally, while municipalities are tasked with enforcement, the animal welfare community must be actively involved, and these groups understand dogs population and behavior far better. So a humane and effective program must rest on collaboration between government and the civil society. So there will always be a government and civil society collaboration for these stray dogs. And then in the conclusion part, she said that a humane way forward. So, what is this? So, the most important takeaway from this judgment is that dogs are not the enemies of people. They are part of the society, and if people respond with fear, hatred, and hostility, the cycle will worsen. So, if people respond with compassion and responsibility, coexistence become possible. And finally, Supreme Court has shown a balanced way forward, that is vaccination, sterilization, structured feeding, shelters for the truly unwell, and penalties for obstruction. Now it is up to municipalities, communities, and citizens to make this vision a reality by acting responsibly. So this was a very short article from today, and I don't think there is much to explain. It is a very easily understandable, but the thing which is going to be important for you for your exam, for the mainly for the APSC means, is the question. So how the question will come. So this article will be very helpful for your GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, and the essay paper. So let's see how the question will come, and please don't skip this part because this is going to be the most important part. So in the essay paper, such type of themes may come, like themes like ethics of coexistence in an urbanized world, then balancing compassion and pragmatism in governance, then human-animal relationship as a test of civilization, then for public health and humane governance, challenges of stray animals. So this type of themes may come in the essay paper. So prepare your essay and write in a very constructive manner. So you can start by giving a nice introduction. So in the introduction, you may start from the current news, that is the issue of stray dogs in Delhi NCR and the Supreme Court's verdict, and then you start building your answer or the body part by giving various constitutional and legal dimensions like Article 21, 48A, etc. Then some governance and policy issues like the animal birth control rules and sterilization processes, then the involvement of NGOs and local governments or like the municipalities. Then you can give some ethics perspective like the ethics of coexistence or empathy, compassion like these. And then you may give some environment and sustainable urbanization, like waste management leading to stray dog overpopulation. Like this, you may give the body part, and in the conclusion, just give a nice conclusion which you find that is a balanced conclusion, either not the extreme one. So this is what EC paper is all about. Now, in GS paper 1, society and culture, such type of topics may come. So, first is social attitudes towards stray animals, then role of community in feeding or caring for dogs or animals. Then, this is important cultural ethos of India, that is ahimsa, Gandhian thought, Buddhist and Jain philosophy of non-violence. So, this is very important because yeah, in the recent times, the stray animals or the animals news should be linked with the Indian philosophy like Ahimsa, Gandhian thought, etc. And these topics, Ahimsa, Gandhian thought, Buddhist and Jain philosophy are the key pillars of GS paper one, society and culture. Next is rural versus urban perceptions of stray dogs. So like this, you have to be prepare for GS paper one, society and culture. So, in GS paper 2, polity, governance, and social justice, things may come under culture, constitutional provisions like Article 21, that is right to life, then Article 48, protection and improvement of environment and wildlife, and Article 51 AG, that is the fundamental duties, which is has a compassion towards living creatures. Then there may come about the judicial pronouncements on animal rights, that is the Supreme Court's directions, or they may ask about the governance issues, that is urban local bodies, that is the municipalities or the panchayats responsibility in waste management, sterilization and vaccination. And also, since animal birth control rules 2023 is in the news, so you should prepare notes on this topic also. Another thing which may come is the state versus local government roles in handling stray dogs minis, then human rights versus animal rights debate in the governance. In GS paper 3, environment, health, science and tech, themes like this may come like public health concerns like the rabies or the dog bites, since you know that India has the highest global rabies death. And then there may come the waste management, that has a direct link to stray dog overpopulation. Then one health approach, that is interconnection of human animal ecosystem health. Then urban ecology, that is the role of stray dogs in scavenging but danger of overpopulation. Then one more most important thing is the sustainable urban development, that is the shelters, animal friendly infrastructure. In GS paper 4, ethics, integrity and aptitude, topics like this may come like human animal relationship, which will include compassion, empathy, duty of care. Then second topic which will be very important, that is the ethical dilemma. So protecting human safety versus respecting animal rights. So this we have seen in the news, like the Supreme Court was actually protecting human safety while the lovers or the animal activists were respecting animal rights. So this will be a very important one because this was in news, and this may come in this year's paper also. Next is Gandhiji's philosophy. So, in the philosophical perspective, Gandhiji said that the greatness of a nation can be judged by the way its animals are treated. So, this quotation you may use it in the AC paper too. Then, application of ethical values like ahimsa, coexistence, balance, non-cruelty, etc. So this is how the stray dog case has been included in all the GS papers, and this is how the questions may come in your exam. So, while analyzing today's editorial, I think now it is clear that from a single article, APSC may ask question in different GS papers. They have a multi-dimensional approach. So, you also need to start writing your answers in a multi-dimensional way. Always use all these themes like animal rights within the constitutional morality. It's not about only this answer. Use it in all the answers like the constitutional morality, then policy, institutional failures, local governance challenges, etc. Then particularly for these type of articles, use moral duty, compassion, humane coexistence, and link your answer between environment, urbanization, and stray animals. So I hope you like the video, and we will meet in the next video. Till then, take care.